Hey, welcome back to Steve Reads a Comic. What is up, Steve?
Hey, what's going on, Sean?
What's up, man? What's up, Rob?
Hey, howdy. Long time no see.
Right? So yeah, we were on hiatus, but it doesn't seem like it to the listener because I only recently put up the most recent podcast. So it
When we do that a month ago?
right. It was I don't even know what date that was. It was at least 2 weeks ago, though. It was about 2 weeks ago, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that one just went up today. Today being July 26, 2023. Spoiler filled podcast. This is your spoiler warning.
Yeah,
Let's
we just
see
got
where
back
to
from
start.
vacation. Rob said I look tan.
No, I said you look red.
Oh,
Yeah, you look pink. I say you look pink.
All right. Well,
Look at my hue and then look at yourself. What do you
Yeah.
see? Do you see a reddish color?
I have a green background, so
It doesn't matter.
The light might be reflecting off that color and causing havoc on my bald head.
So,
Hey, guess what I watched for the second time?
The Flash?
No.
The Matrix Resurrections or whatever it's called?
No, I didn't. But I wanted you to think that. What I actually watched for the second time was Batman. The Batman. I still don't know if I like that movie. I got done a second time and I'm like, I mean, I like the noir detective aspect of it. Yeah. But god damn it, it's so over dramatic. Like it is so not necessary. So many scenes. Like that movie could be so much longer. I forgot it was 3 hours long. Shorter. Yeah, I forgot it was 3 hours long, dude.
You could have cut. You could have cut a half hour out. Him walking to that wrecked vehicle. That was a half hour.
Easily. And they got the dramatic music playing and everything. But at the same time, like I don't know if I like that or not. Like it's cool, but at the same time, not necessary.
It wasn't a horrible movie.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not that cool. Exactly.
It has so many of the elements I like. They're edited together in such a way that somehow it's boring. Like, but I mean, I think the score is great. I think the costume design is great. I like all the actors.
I know this sounds stupid, but like it needed more action, man. Like I needed some more. If it's going to be that long, I needed some more action.
Or the detective stuff needed to be much more compelling.
Yeah.
The detective stuff wasn't impressive to me. I like that they showed his detective side a little bit more, but nothing he was doing was really that amazing.
I got it right away, so it couldn't have been that confusing.
Right.
Well, I remember Sean saying if it wasn't for that policeman, that told him about the carpet tool.
Right.
Like Sean's right.
Would be destroyed.
Right. Like, but meanwhile, the whole movie, like as soon as someone opens a card for the riddle,
he knows
Batman,
it, right?
Batman immediately knows it. But he didn't do any research on that fucking carpet tool at all because he went there, he found the carpet tool, and then it wasn't till like later that day that he came back to that place looking for more stuff. And I'm like, really? You couldn't just gone on the internet and look for what the fuck that was?
But yeah, literally, if that cop hadn't shown up, he literally would have just been like, well, nothing to see here, I guess. And, and those Riddlers would have just killed so many people because he wouldn't have been there to stop it.
It was cool to see the scene where he's just walking through the police, the crime scene. And just how what the fuck? The police what the fuck is this dude doing?
Well, that's what
here?
I mean. There's so many elements that I do like about it, but the movie itself is very
Yeah.
It's just, and I've watched it a few times, but yeah, it's boring. The Catwoman stuff doesn't really land as well as it did in the comics.
The last fight where he's just going at those guys on top.
Oh, dude, that's great.
That's fucking great. And that scene where it's just gunfire in a dark room and all you can see, it's him sporadically. That was awesome. I mean, I just needed more of that. That car scene was stupid. And I like car scenes. Yeah. It was always it was a cool shot from one side of the car right on the Penguin's face, but they did that 6 times, dude. I'm like, stop going to the same shot.
Yeah, the car chase. I mean, again, I don't like car chases, but this one was especially other. If it wasn't the Batmobile, it would have been incredibly lame. The fact that it was the Batmobile gave it some points.
Yeah,
but otherwise, it was a very pedestrian car chase, though.
And then it had that dramatic music as he walks up to the penguin, and then he like dips his head down,
pulls him out, and then doesn't kill him or anything. Just talks to him a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, like, I watched it. I don't hate it.
No.
So
it's very middling.
Yeah,
I want to like it again. Huge Batman fan. I probably give it more points than you just because I'm a fan. But it's at the same time, it's just it could have been so much better. It just wasn't. It didn't move. It didn't flow, and that you could tell the influences of like Seven. They were trying to do like kind of keep it moody, like a David Fincher thing, but they weren't. They're pulling off the mood, but they weren't pulling off the intriguing part of Seven, which is the mystery of figuring out who it is and why he's doing it. Like they didn't bother with that part. That was the best part of Seven, in my opinion.
Yeah. So we don't want to see another Matt Reeves Batman, or we do?
I'm willing to give him a second chance.
He's in the right direction. He's
like I said. I mean, I think he's he's in the right direction. He's got a lot of the cool elements. He understands the character, but the story was just very, very boring.
Just needs to fine tune it.
Yeah. So I think he could, but I mean, the Nolan trilogy, I don't know that anybody's going to top that.
Right.
That set a really high bar though, but this was still good. I mean, I enjoyed this more than the last three main Star Wars movies and a lot of other movies. It just felt like it could have been a lot better.
Yeah. It was, I liked it and I didn't like it. So I'll just keep it at that. I'll keep it at that.
So what else is new? So Rob came up to visit last week. We hung out a little bit.
Yes.
Ate a lot of food.
You guys go see Barbenheimer or what?
No. We saw Mission
Nobody
Impossible.
wants to see Barbie with me, man. I want everybody to go. Nobody will go see Barbie with me. Maggie can't. She wants to, but
Aiden's going tomorrow.
God damn it.
Friday.
I'll go with you.
He's going with his buddies.
I just actually, my buddy Mark went and saw it Monday, and I was going to go. But then it was like in the middle of the day, and I had to start cleaning out this garage because we got a dumpster and everything, so I couldn't make it then. But that was my opportunity.
Oh, you had an opportunity, you didn't go?
I did. Well, I had stuff. I had commitments. I had commitments, man.
A garage. What kind of commitment is that? Get out of here. Go see Barbie.
And Andy was going to see it at Valley View. Like I didn't really want to drive that far to see it. That was the other reason. Like I want to see it, but not like drive to Valley View go see it. I'm going Saturday to go see Ninja Turtles. I'm very stoked about that. I'm dragging Mason with me. He has no interest, but I don't like to go by myself. And
I finally watched the trailer. That is some weird ass animation.
I really like the style. Yeah, it's very divisive. I'm on the side that enjoys it though. I think it looks cool, and I think it's got a Spider-Verse feel to it, which I like. Very stylized. I love stylized stuff though.
We saw Elemental, and they had Ninja Turtles preview. It was like them like pretending they were like
in the theater.
In the theater, yeah. It was really fun. You guys didn't see any movies together when Rob was up there, or what?
Mission Impossible. He went.
Oh, Mission Impossible.
We went to the Linda.
Yeah. That's right. Okay,
and
Sean
watched it in mono.
Mono center channel sound.
The Linda, for the listener, is an old ass theater that was in our neighborhood growing up in Akron.
And it was $1 theater growing up, and somehow it's a $5 theater now, but they get new movies. When it was $1,
yeah, it's like recent releases. It's crazy.
Yeah,
we used to have to wait. Yeah, we used to have to wait like a month, and then they'd show.
It'd be like 4 or 5 months. You get it like
that long?
right before it would come to home video, or even when it was on home video, it would hit the Linda. And it'd be it'd be like a $2 theater, but they'd have like $1 night or whatever. And it was really run down then. It is in better shape. Used to like just stick to the floor in that place.
Yeah, I remember
much
that.
cleaner. They have newer seats.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, saw it in mono.
Need to invest in speakers.
Yeah. Well, I just read on their Facebook page, they're shutting down for like 2 weeks. And they're actually going to be kind of changing up the kind of venue it is. It's still going to be a movie theater, but they're ripping out a lot of the seats in front to make it like a stage so they can have singers, performers, and stuff
great.
too.
They better cover that screen.
And they said that I'm sure they'll have like a curtain or something, but they said if they have time, they're going to be working on their sound system too. So I'm curious what that means.
If they have time,
and
maybe you need to make
time. Add a second speaker, I think, would be cool to get that stereo effect I've been hearing about.
Yeah, there ain't nothing worse than shitty sound at a movie theater, man.
It wasn't bad. I mean, for $5,
it really wasn't for what it was.
Yeah.
I've seen movies in. I remember when I saw V for Vendetta at a local theater here in Brunswick, and I literally had to cup my hands over my ears to hear the movie. This one was at least loud enough.
Yeah.
But this, like, that was my worst theater sound experience.
The picture wasn't bad either. I mean, it was decent. I mean,
it was dark, but it was sharp.
$5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rob.
Popcorn was like $2. I got $2 popcorn.
That is awesome. Hey, Rob, I did what you said. When we went to see Elementals, I got the kids' meal. He's right. It's like the perfect amount of popcorn.
What's in the kids' meal?
Perfect amount of drink, and you get a fruit snack.
Okay. You get drink, popcorn, and fruit snack.
Yeah, because every time I go, I get this giant drink, and I never drink it all, and it just makes me want to urinate towards the end of the movie anyway.
And then you bring it home, and you end up throwing half of it out because you're like, I'm not letting this go to waste.
Dude, you could hand me a 64-ounce cup. It'll be gone in the first hour. Like, if I have a drink, I'm drinking it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't have to be thirsty. If it's there, I'm just going to keep sipping on it till it's gone.
I even get extra ice. I always order extra ice because I like it cold, and it's like $8 a drink, and I'm getting extra ice, so I'm getting less. I'm getting less pop,
Right.
But I was like, Rob was right. Like, that is the perfect amount. Just order the fucking kids' meal, man.
Can't beat it.
Yeah.
It's enough popcorn not to make me sick.
Yeah.
Because I love it, but I get nauseous like afterwards for some reason.
No one gives you the side eye, like, you don't have any kids with you. What are you doing?
Fuck them. I don't even care. I've been doing it for like 10 of the last 10 movies.
Dude, I guarantee those teenagers working the counter don't give a shit what you ordered as long as
I
you
used
pay
to be
for
that
it.
teenager working at the counter, and I did not give a shit what anyone ordered.
You don't care.
I didn't give a shit if people paid. I would let them in.
I still want my money back from when you went and let me in to see The Nutty Professor 2 for free. I still feel like I'm owed money. That was awful.
Happened? I denied you entry?
No, you let me in, and that was fucked up. That movie's terrible.
I was going to say.
I want compensation. That was...
The 2.
I was high, and that movie was terrible.
Did you like the first one?
It was okay. I don't
even know if there's a difference between the first and the second.
Yeah, I don't really remember. But that was also, though, I'd go see any movie at the theater, though. That's how I ended up with the Clumps, too. I had probably seen anything worth seeing already that weekend. So it was like, I guess we're going to see the Clumps because there's nothing else. I saw it all already. That's what we're going to see.
All right. Well, let's talk about Mission Impossible. Sean and I have talked to each other about it, but I haven't heard your thoughts. Rob, what'd you think? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't the best one, but it was good.
Yeah. What's your favorite one?
The first one's really good. Third one's good. I don't think there's as much action in the third one. I really like the last two, I think, before this one.
Yeah, I like Fallout a lot.
Yeah.
1 and 3 are probably my favorites.
Yeah.
But this one, I really enjoyed this one.
I still haven't finished 2. I think I'm done. I don't care anymore.
Dude, all right, Mission Impossible 2. Let's talk about Mission Impossible, the newest one. Good movie. Go see it. Recommend it. It's a solid flick. I enjoyed it. Saw it twice. But let's talk about Mission Impossible 2. That's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, I think.
No, you can't.
That is such a horrible movie. It is so bad.
That is a false statement.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because I'm grading it on a scale of, this is a big budget movie. It's one of those things where if you have that much money, there's no excuse for it to suck. It's another thing. If it's a low budget movie, you're doing your best with what you have. That's another thing. But when you have that budget and it's a sequel, and then that's the piece of crap you put on the screen, that's the worst cinematic villain I've ever seen, possibly.
Dude,
That dude sucked ass.
actually, I think the last scene I watched before I turned it off and went to bed was when he teared up. Because
when he's hugging her or whatever, is that?
Well, I think right after he faked like he was Tom Cruise.
Right.
And then he went around the corner, something took off his mask, and then he teared up or something. I was like, oh God, that's it.
Yeah, Hugh was heartbroken, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Tom
That
Cruise,
dude didn't give a shit about anybody.
Everybody,
his
he
henchman
cared
was
about
right.
Naya. He cared
His
about
henchman
Naya.
was right. His henchman almost lost a pinky because he was telling him how it was.
Wait, what was his name in the movie? I got I got
know.
him confused with his henchman.
Fun fact about that actor, Doug Ray Scott, is he was in the running for the part of Wolverine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about that. What do you think? You think he would have done good?
No.
Oh,
I know I do not.
Okay.
I'm very glad it went to Hugh Jackman.
Well, just because he did a shitty script doesn't mean he's a shitty actor.
I'm going to be real superficial and be like, that guy sucks. I've seen him in one thing, and he's not good.
Did you like you didn't like the doves of peace coming out in front?
I'm used to seeing that in John Woo movies, like Hard Boiled, The Killer, and stuff. That's not even about. And I did like the one shootout scene. John Woo's very good at shootouts. The hand-to-hand combat was so fucking. The hand-to-hand combat was so fucking goofy though, with like all these slow motion shots of him doing these really extraneous moves.
Dude, they just be walking, and then all of a sudden it was slow motion.
Yeah,
because it's like every 10 minutes, let's throw in some slow motion.
I love
threw in a dial flash kick at one point. I'm like, you didn't need to do all that.
Yeah.
You could have just hit that guy. Like, why'd you do a flash kick?
Yeah, because that's awesome. And the cartwheel kick was one of my favorites. Where he cartwheel kicked the guy. Oh, that's definitely the worst one, but god damn, I watched the shit out of that when it came out. I love the motorcycle scene. Oh,
that's so when they hug each other. And then they cut, and they're like,
not at the end. That's the worst when they crash into each other. I'm talking about the lead up, lead up to that. So dude. Bad when they have the slow motion shot when he comes out of the fire and everything. His cape's flying in the wind, dude. He does some nice little tricks on the bike. But yeah, that one where they joust with them, that was ridiculous, dude.
And then it's such a weird cut because they just hit each other. They lose all momentum, but then the next shot, they're like flying, like and rolling. And it's like, dude, they just smacked into each other and dropped.
Right. They're like the dude in Indiana Jones when he hits off the train. He's like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
It was so stupid.
So worst movie ever? There's nothing worse than that.
As far as that's all I can think of right now. Yeah, that's my worst movie ever.
Pantheon of fucking horrible movies.
You watched Aquaman?
This is worse than Aquaman.
That's not true.
Yeah, because I saw it more recently.
It's fresh,
and I expected better. Yeah, so that's my worst movie ever of today. What else is going on,
dude? Sir Anthony Hopkins was in that. How do you not like that?
Anyway, any other big news? I just read that Blue Beetle is projected to make total. I think domestic box office, they're projected to make maybe $50 million.
Oh my God.
It is apparently tracking very low. I mean, that's, these are projections. It doesn't mean that's how it's going to be. No, but they go by like
audience,
like pre-sale tickets, audience interest, social media engagement, all that kind of stuff.
When's it come out? I thought it was later.
Next month. I don't remember. Some point next month.
There you go. I'm gonna go see
it.
The
tracking. I mean, they do this tracking and projections, and they're usually not too far off.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been off. Don't get me wrong, but like they're, they have a pretty good beat on it. So that's kind of disappointing because it looks fun, and I want to go see it.
Are you going to see it?
If I can get somebody to go with me. If not, then no. And also, if it does that bad, it'll be about 2 weeks before I can watch it on Vudu. So let's be honest.
Right.
It's
Dude,
a flash turned around about a month.
Dude, if Mark's going to see Barbie, I'm sure he'll see Blue Beetle with you.
He really doesn't like superhero movies.
Oh.
That's not his thing. But he got really hooked on the Barbenheimer organic marketing campaign,
Dude,
which I didn't care about that. I thought that was
over 3 hours. It's almost 3.5 hours.
Yeah, Logan saw it. He really liked it.
I heard it's good. Yeah.
Mark saw both. He saw Oppenheimer and Barbie. He liked both of those. They're both getting really good reviews. But Logan said he'd go see Oppenheimer with me if I wanted to see it. I told him, I was like, is it? Because I've seen the trailers and I'm like, is it just a bunch of guys talking about making a bomb, the repercussions of making a bomb, what happens if they make this bomb? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And then eventually there's a bomb, and then they bomb Japan.
Sounds like I know the ending.
Right. It's like I still want to see it, but not. I'd rather see Barbie. I like escapism. I like fantasy. Oppenheimer, and I'm sure Oppenheimer is good. It's Christopher Nolan. I'm not ragging on it, but I also am just like, I think it's just gonna be a bunch of guys talking about making a bomb for the most part.
It's way over
and
there.
He said it covers his whole life though, like from like college on, basically. So there's more to it than just building up to the bomb. That's not. He said that's not the end of the movie. There's a lot of
people you got. Like I read somebody wished they would have, like just reviewed all the people, because there's so many people in it. You kind of lose track of who's who, and if you don't know who they are, you kind of But I heard somebody said that they were just talking on the radio that like they discussed it for like 3 hours afterwards. So it makes you think.
Well, as long as their names aren't as confusing as the people in Avatar, I'll be all right.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's true.
I definitely want to see that. It's in IMAX, so I want to go see that.
Well, I'm trying to remember. Dikembe Mutombo, he was in Avatar, right?
So, nobody's complaining about not being able to hear, though.
That was the son that died.
Oh, okay.
Nobody's complaining about not being able to hear them talk in Oppenheimer, right?
Well, that's good.
I haven't heard anything like that.
Okay, good.
So, but again, I don't know if I'll see that in the theater. Like I said, I do want to see Barbie, but I haven't. The stars have not aligned. But I will be seeing Ninja Turtles on Saturday as well as Monday. Very excited.
Hey, I forgot to talk last week about I'm a Virgo. Dude, I forgot to tell you guys about the boy song. Boy. You don't remember that?
Wait.
The cartoon he would always watch?
The cartoon and that then gave everybody all that existential dread.
Right.
Yeah, but the finale or something that he got bootleg.
That never aired.
Like where people were like, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
that whole thing.
The whole show is just that kid going boy.
And as he gets older, he's just like boy.
I can't believe I forgot to talk about it. Anyway, I just want to say, I've been saying that around the house. Kids are like, Dad, can you give me a sandwich? I'm like, boy.
That's so perfect. I don't know why. It's like Steve realizing the mundanity of his life and just boy, I guess. Boy.
Kristen, you're late for work. Boy.
What has anyone seen that? I don't know if it's on Netflix or what's it on, but something about Leon or Tyrone. I
haven't watched that yet. I do want to see that.
Have you seen the preview? It looks hilarious. It's got
I saw a little bit about
John Boyega and Jamie Foxx in it.
What's it?
John Boyega.
Boyega, yeah, him.
I want to see. I haven't watched it yet.
What is that about? Tell me. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's about
they clone Tyrone.
That's it. That's what it is.
It's called They Clone Tyrone, and that's all I need to know. I'm intrigued just by the title alone. And it looks like it's kind of an homage to blaxploitation movies.
Okay.
Kind of like Black Dynamite. I don't know if you guys ever saw that, but
yeah. Well, but Quentin Tarantino did a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of that style.
Well, that's cool. That sounds good. I'll watch that.
Yeah, I need to watch. I keep forgetting about it, but I do want to watch that. What did I watched something recently? I started rewatching Invincible, but I'm only a few episodes in. I'm enjoying that rewatch because November 3rd, Invincible season 2 is coming,
Yes.
and they just surprise dropped the Adam Eve special episode, so I watched that. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched that.
So that was
Is it
pretty
any
good.
good?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's
It's
good.
worth a watch if you like Invincible.
Yeah.
Dude,
Did we read the comic before we watched Invincible? Did I make you guys read that? And
Yes.
then what do?
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
'Cause-
Wait,
yeah,
did we?
couldn't
Did you
remember.
know? Did you know
Because
what
I
happened?
couldn't believe that the animation was so similar to the comic.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right. That's right. I watched that. Yeah, I watched that Superpowered, the DC story you told me
Oh,
to
did
watch.
you? Yeah.
That was interesting. And once again, corporations are fucking evil, dude.
Dude.
I remember you telling me that Bill Finger,
Yeah.
got shit on most of the time. Everybody thought
Nothing.
it
You
was
got
Bob Kane.
nothing.
And
Yeah.
then in the documentary I was watching, they were like, he died destitute. I was like, damn, that fucking is horrible, man. He got
If you want to know more about that, watch Bill and Me or wait, was it Batman and Bill? I think it's Batman and Bill.
Documentary. It was good.
Yeah, about Bill Finger.
You told us to watch it, and I watched it. It was good.
I thank you. I appreciate it. Steve, of course, had to go watch Fast and the Furious.
Right. Well,
He did
Fast
not
10
watch
was
it.
out. Boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was good.
That whole thing is pretty good, though. I do like some of the revisionist history in there, where they're like, man, look how we did something important to keep up with Marvel. We created a black character named Black Lightning. It was a big deal. And then, like, the very next thing is like, Black Lightning canceled after less than a year. It's
Right.
like, great job, DC. You
Right.
really brought it. It brought the diversity.
They're like,
back then.
They're basically like, no one will read anything about black people. That's what they said. Basically what they said.
You guys already watched Secret Invasion? I haven't yet.
I did. I watched Secret
finale.
Invasion.
Does it get better?
No, it sucked.
No.
The finale,
No.
finale blew chunks, man.
So with
nothing in the comics happened that I wanted to happen. Nothing happened.
Steve, did you see the big twist coming a mile away like I did?
Oh my god,
Okay.
so far away.
It was,
yeah,
dude. Yeah,
I'm not gonna say anything.
Right.
Rob.
I just wanted to make sure because I'm like, I know what's happening.
Yeah, we
I
all
know
knew
what's
it,
happening.
especially the setting it was in.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. It was just like, okay, we know what's happening. Come
and
on.
then, and
very underwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's this climactic battle, and it was just snoozer.
It was a snooze fest. Even the big scroll battle was just like,
I think they just had this to kill everybody.
Boy. Yeah, I mean, it was just very mediocre, Rob. I was hoping for a lot more. I didn't even get a twist or nothing, man. Like,
it was weird because I didn't think this show was as offensively bad as like Hawkeye or WandaVision, but it was almost that offensive just because of how boring it was.
Right.
WandaVision, you say what you want, but at least it was different.
That doesn't matter to me. That means nothing.
I liked WandaVision, though. I didn't think it was horrible. I mean,
I thought it was horrible. Like the first 3 episodes, especially, man, just a waste of fucking time.
Dude, WandaVision, it made me feel something. This series, I was just like, man, is it over yet? I was like, I'm glad it's only 6 episodes.
So far, the only thing I felt from this show, 5 out of 6 episodes, is I feel bad for Samuel L. Jackson.
Right?
That's it. I'm like, dude, what a waste of talent.
I just feel like, man, don't let that man retire.
Right?
From like, he'll probably act till he dies, but please don't. Just
right. He's gonna go out.
I'm sure you're okay.
Indiana Jones did in this last one.
Yeah, I don't want to see that, and he's getting up there. Yeah. So Secret Invasion, disappointing. We got what else?
Dude, when I was on vacation, I read all the like Star Wars comics, like the latest run. It's about what happens after
Empire.
Yeah. After
I read some of them. I haven't read all of them though.
Oh, okay. After Han gets frozen in carbonite, and like, just dude, it's so much fun just going on adventures with Luke and Leia, dude, and just seeing
That's
everything that could have happened in between the two movies, and he gets to Cloud City to find his lightsaber, but it's like a big giant trash heap. There's like no way you can find it.
okay.
I'm like, just use the force, Luke. I mean, but he ended up I think Leia's life was on the line, so he had to get out of there. But he ended up finding another lightsaber from an Inquisitor before he turned bad. Before he was an Inquisitor. So it was a
Yeah.
lightsaber he had before he went to the dark side or whatever. So Luke's like walking around with like a yellow lightsaber, and he gets it, and then like to inspire the rebel fleet, like he shows everybody he got the lightsaber, and he holds it up like in the classic look on the poster and everything.
My poster over here.
Yeah. And it was, dude, it's just great. It was so much fun. I'm like, I think I'm like 20 issues in. I think there's like 30 some out right now.
So they did this. It's funny you mentioned that because I was gonna have us read. They did the same thing not too long ago when Marvel got the Star Wars license back. The first thing they did was start a canon series that takes place right after A New Hope. So there's a whole run between A New Hope and Empire as well that I've been reading off and on, not steadily, but when I think about it, I'm just like, oh man, I want to keep reading that because like you're saying, it's got the characters, they're off doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're encountering Vader, and like Luke doesn't know that's his dad still.
Yeah,
at this point.
they ran into Kiara from the Solo movie and everything.
Okay, Kira.
And Kira, is that what her name? Whatever her name is.
Yeah.
And dude, new characters, man, that are pretty cool. I would love to see on screen. I'm just having a lot of fun with it, man. It's really enjoyable. And but after we read that Star Wars story, I was nervous. That Kanan story. I was like, ugh. But I think it's just because I'm so invested in Luke and Leia.
Yeah.
And obviously Chewie and R2 and C-3PO and all those are there. Everybody except Han, because he's frozen.
And Han is in the series that I've been reading. I used to have it the first issue hanging on my wall just because I like the artwork. But yeah, that's good stuff. The more recent Star Wars mainline titles.
Yeah, and that got me to buy an audiobook, like the first one. They're not canon anymore. I guess they're called the Legacy editions now or something.
Legends, Star Wars Legends.
But I saw that like one of the first books they did was by the guy Tim Leben. He does a lot of the Firefly books that I read.
Oh, okay.
So
the ones I know are by Timothy Zahn. Did the
he did
Heir
the
to
Thrawn.
the Empire.
Yeah, he did the Thrawn trilogy. Stuff. Yeah, I got that on. But yeah, speaking of Firefly, check this out. My new book came in the mail today. Coup de Grace.
Coup de Grace.
Yeah, so we'll be reading that. And guess what else came in the mail yesterday? Check this out.
Idea. Oh, nice.
What do we have here? A little Moon Knight hot toy? Dude, this thing is so fucking detailed. You will not believe this shit. This looks so good. The cape is bending. I'm going to have him in like a flight position with the crescent-shaped cape. It's going to look so fun. Dude, look how badass this guy. And his eyes light up. There's like an LED behind his mask.
Oh, nice.
You turn that on. His eyes light up. Dude, it looks just like the freaking show. Even the box, dude. Look at this box, dude.
Right.
The freaking dial turns and everything. It's got these raised bandages on the box.
Like, man, that makes me wish the show was worth watching.
Dude, this show is not that bad. Shut up.
It's so bad.
The fucking
forgot about it until you brought it up. I'm like, oh, that's another shitty show.
What was I watching? I was watching a Disney show, and there was a Secret Invasion, and there was like blood splattering everywhere, and I'm like, okay, you got no excuse now. If we see another Moon Knight,
Secret Invasion had a little bit of blood. It did. It went PG-13.
That's what I saw. I was thinking, if we see another Moon Knight, there better be a lot of fucking blood in this one. They better show him fucking fighting.
Oh, they better show some goddamn action on screen instead of off camera. That's what they better do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got no excuse now. They can do R-rated. So let's go. But dude, I was so happy. Every time a fucking hot toy comes in the mail, I got this giant grin on my face. Kristen's like, "What is wrong with you?" I was like, "This is a great day.
Shit's amazing.
It's a great day."
And they're getting better. They just announced a new Anakin Skywalker figure based on Revenge of the Sith, and I am not a fan of that character, but it's like a new premiere series. The face, you got to look it up, dude. Like, you think the Hot Toys look good now? When do you see the face on this Anakin? It's like Hayden Christensen is in your house, basically. It's stunning. It is stunning. Hair and it's real hair, and they're doing a Dark Knight Joker too that also looks stunning, better than anything I've ever done before.
Wait, what is that face based off of? What movie?
Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, so all right, so
he's got that
menacing.
black and like maroon outfit, you know.
Uh-huh.
Dude, it looks so good. I'm just like, man, I can't wait to hope they come out with the figure I like, because that dude, he looks amazing. The work there.
I hate you.
You don't
like Anakin?
So Anakin's kind of bad news. Maybe is Netflix canceled the live action He-Man movie they were working on. They had invested at least 30 million into it. Some people say as much as 60 million into it, and then decided to cancel it. And now the rights are back with Mattel, and Mattel is shopping it around. The reason I say it's kind of bad news is because Netflix doesn't really do the big budget that I think Masters of the Universe requires. And so I'm hoping an actual movie studio picks it up and we get a big budget Masters of the Universe movie. And not because I just saw a trailer for One Piece for Netflix, which is it's an anime based on a manga, and they're doing a live action adaptation. I'm not a fan of the series at all. I'm not really familiar with it. I can tell you that this movie, the fans are excited. The movie looks terrible. It looks so mid budget. I'm like, well, I guess I'm kind of glad they're not doing He-Man, because if it's going to look like this, no thanks. I don't want it. I want a big studio to do a He-Man. I'm hoping with this Barbie movie, it drums up some interest, but I also hope they don't go in the same direction as the Barbie movie, since it's all like meta commentary, fourth wall breaking type stuff. I want like a sincere Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars He-Man movie kind of thing is what I want, you know?
Who was attached to that movie? But when it got canceled, who was directing? Do you know?
I think it was two guys I've never heard of before, but apparently they were super stoked about it. They'd cast an unknown. I think his name was like Kyle Allen to play He-Man. He looked fine. That's about all I know about it. But that's been getting kicked around for years and years. So who knows if I'll ever actually see it.
Did they drop it because they weren't done writing it, and they're like, we don't have any writers?
It was a budget. The directors wanted, I think, 200 million, and Netflix wanted like 150, and I think there's something about 180 million, and Netflix was like, no, or maybe I don't know if that wasn't enough, but basically, directors couldn't get the budget they wanted, and so that's why I'm glad. Like, if they couldn't get the money, then don't make it. Don't make a half-assed version of it that looks like that shitty One Piece trailer.
Well, what's a Netflix movie that's been high budget that you thought was good, like CGI wise?
There hasn't been one.
I don't know about CG. I mean, but like Extraction was really good. I think Bullet Train was produced by Netflix, even though it came out in theaters. That looked pretty good.
That Ryan Reynolds one sucked. Remember that one? It was like an action thriller. Something Six Man.
Six Underground. That's Michael Bay. I wasn't watching. I watched about 5 minutes of that. I was like, this is the worst. This is the worst movie I've ever seen today.
Oh, that was Michael Bay.
Yeah, he cuts. He does like 30 camera cuts a second. I'm like, no, dude, no, this is awful.
Yeah.
I got about 5 minutes in, and I had to turn it off. It was so fucking bad.
I remember that one having a big budget.
But yeah, but Motu or Masters of the Universe, it needs Lord of the Rings type budget, man, for like what I would like to see and what the fans would like to see on screen anyway. But oh, dude, I got to show you, man. So our mutual friend Keith gave me this figure last time I was in Memphis. It is an original 1981 made in Taiwan He-Man, and the legs were like real loose. And then when I got him out the other day, the rubber band in there had just like disintegrated. So his legs were just completely off. So I went online, found something called He Bands, that they make, this little replacement leg thing that goes through here. Total bitch to install, but I finally got it. Fix his legs. The sword and the axe were bent, so if you put them in like boiling water and then shape it and just let it dry, it'll. So this was like curved, almost like it was like
YouTube
hooked.
is awesome. Like,
Right?
you can just find any fix you need.
Yes.
So wait a minute, you showed me a picture of that. It was with Battle Cat. Where's Battle Cat? Is Battle Cat all right?
Sean forged his own sword.
Yeah. I got the original Battle Cat, but dude, I'm so happy. Like I did a full-on toy restoration. Very happy about it. Like
Sean's
I was
like, fire up the forge.
right. That dude.
Mac
I
is
would
like,
I would have very happy about my toy restoration process, because this is an original, man, and like my mom made me throw all mine out.
Yeah.
And Keith, this is in really good shape. Like most of the paint's on there. There's a few little spots, but he kept it in really good shape.
Dude, I'm surprised Keith didn't just keep that for himself. As big as a He-Man fan he is, he must have another one, or he really loves you.
Right?
Boing,
I think he knows how much I love to collect this stuff, and he heard my sob story about having to throw out my own He-Man shit. So greatly appreciated to have an original that I would not have. Basically, I mean, I'm sure I could buy one, but I got this fucker for free, man. Did a little bit of work on him, and like I said, the paint is really good. And he has got like the twisty hip thing where he punches. If you turn him, it still works.
Nice.
40 years old. Pretty impressive.
Did you cry when you were throwing out your toys? Did you
Oh yeah.
Did you cry?
Yeah. I was 8 years old.
I remember, dude. I had a raccoon, a stuffed animal raccoon that I love, and we were going somewhere on the turnpike, and I left it at one of the stops, and we couldn't turn around. And I was crying for like a fucking
Just
day,
sobbing. Oh yeah,
yeah.
I threw it out the window for
I had to do that.
Retribution.
That was me, bitch.
No, I'm just kidding.
I had to do that that cry where you try to hold it, because otherwise my mom would beat me for crying. So
oh yeah,
it was,
dude, you cried like Doogery Scott in Mission Impossible 2.
It's just Doug Ray. It's just Doug Ray Scott.
Isn't it Dougery though? Isn't he like
Doogery? Doogery.
It's literally the words Doug and Ray.
Yeah,
but I think it's Doogery.
How else would you pronounce that? It's Doug Ray.
No, it's Doogery.
No, it's Doug.
Doogery?
Yeah, it's Doogery because he's Australian.
No, yeah.
I have
Irish
no respect for the Australian dialect, so it's Doug Ray. That's if you're gonna put the words Doug and Ray together, I'm gonna pronounce it Doug Ray. Like I'm tired, dude. It's bad enough I got to say Brett Favre when it's spelled Favre. That's asinine. I'm tired of this shit. Fuck you. Spell your shit correctly if you want to pronounce correctly. I'm done.
How do you say Timothy Chalamet?
That Timothy Chalamet.
No, it's Timothée.
Timothée? No, it's Timothy.
No, I mean it's French. It's supposed to be Timothée. Timothée.
I don't give a shit. It's Timothy.
I'm just saying, Dougery.
You can pronounce it one way there. This is America. Pronounce it Timothy. All right, you're gonna spell your name Timothy. It's pronounced Timothy.
Okay. All right.
Timothy. You're telling me it's Timothy? That's what you're saying?
Timothy.
He said Timothy.
I just heard it on the radio earlier. I'm assuming that's true.
No, that's too stupid. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if you're going by actual, French pronunciation.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. And I can do that because I'm like a quarter French. My grandma was 100% French. Got married to my grandpa like World War II. So I can shit on French people all I want.
Hey, oui.
Yeah. Baguette.
All right, let's get this comic.
Dude, so, man, it was really cool to reread this. So,
right? Dude, I love this series.
This week's comic is just called Marvels.
Did I read the right one?
I don't know.
It was long.
It's only 4 issues. There was
only
like
4.
There was like a 5th issue, but it wasn't really necessary. It was written after the fact. The 0 issue. But so it's called Marvels by Alex Ross and Kurt Busiek. Busiek.
I believe you pronounced that Dougery.
Boucher.
Dougery is okay. Dougery or whatever the hell you were saying. I'm like, no thanks.
Dougery Scott.
Busiek. Kurt Busiek is how you say it. Kurt Busiek on story and It's this unknown guy named Alex Ross.
Oh,
You may
I've
have
heard
heard
of
of him by
him.
now.
I've heard of him.
This is where he got. This was like the first thing I ever heard of by Alex Ross back in the
Who's
90s. It came out in
Alex Ross?
1994. And first time I ever heard of the dude, and I was blown away back then, just reading about it in Wizard magazine until it actually came out. I had never seen comic artwork like this. It's all painted. It's
Very
all
unique.
painted. And it's just stunning artwork through and through. And again, Alex Ross is fucking huge now. He's done all kinds of stuff. So basically, this is what's cool about. So this is like a retelling of the creation of the Marvel universe. So, and I'm telling you this from memory, so feel free to fact check this. But from what I understand, the Human Torch was the very first Marvel character. I think they were called Timely Comics
Yes,
at
I
the
read.
time.
I talked about this on one of our episodes. It was
Okay.
Marvel Comics issue number 1, and
Okay.
the first storyline was the Human Torch, and it goes exactly like Marvel Comics issue 1. This first issue of Marvels we read, only it's updated, like with his artwork and everything.
With
And
his
it,
with the other guy's perspective though too, right?
yeah, but it's not really that much different. Like
Hey, I'm still doing an
everything.
intro. Let me finish the goddamn intro.
Okay,
So,
all right.
It's
Boing,
about
boing,
the first, the earliest heroes were the Human Torch, not the same Human Torch as Fantastic Four, and Namor the Submariner, however you pronounce it. So that's where we start in like 1939. And what's great about this series is this is a ground's eye view of superheroes told by a photographer named Phil something. I don't remember his last name.
His name was Phil Sheldon.
Phil Sheldon, and so let's start there. Now you're unleashed to talk about this comic book. But yeah, it's a ground's eye view, and what's funny about it to me is reading this, and I don't even remember it having this big of an impact on me. I remember the artwork having an impact on me, but now the story had more of an impact where I was like, yeah, if superheroes were real, it'd be fucking terrifying.
Right? Right? Yeah. It's like in the beginning of The Boys when that Flash character is just running through the streets and kills that woman.
Yeah.
Like, there's all kinds of collateral damage happening if we had superheroes in this world.
All the time.
Yeah. I loved Phil Sheldon's arc in this 4-issue series. Like from where he started to where he ended up was just very fun to read, and the story was very well written. Like you said, the artwork was great. There was very interesting topics because it happens throughout his life, and so it starts in like the 40s, and you meet.
It goes from like 1939 to like 1974.
Yeah.
So we get about a 35-year chunk of his life, basically.
Yeah, and you see his thoughts change on certain issues throughout the comics, which is really cool. Like they have a mutant scare issue I thought was very interesting. Everyone's afraid of the mutants, and like it is in the comic. They did his perspective on the wedding between the Fantastic Sue and
Reed
Richards. And it was just really interesting to get that other, the human perspective of what's going on, like you said, on the ground level. I really enjoyed this comic a lot.
It's called Marvels because Phil, that's what he calls these superheroes. Because I guess they don't have that term yet. Because I guess technically this was about a year after Superman debuted in 1938. So he calls them Marvels, but obviously it's because of Marvel comics and everything. But yeah, he refers to these guys as Marvels. You see Captain America show up in real time. And dude, I think one of my favorite parts was when Galactus showed up.
Yeah,
and how horrifying that was.
Right, dude. I'm with you. Like I'm reading them, like this dude is fucking terrifying. Like I did not get anything like that in Rise of the Silver Surfer or whatever.
right.
Like I was never scared at any moment. But reading this, and like we said, the artwork is so good that you get sucked into the you think you're in a movie. Like you think it's real life.
Perspectives. So the artwork is high quality, but it's also just his skill at sequential storytelling and like the angles he chooses. Man, like I've never seen Galactus on a page and been like, oh my God, that's so scary. That would be terrifying. You know what I mean? Because it just looks so real.
It was in Phil's perspective. That was the thing.
Right. It was the ground's eye view. And it was just like, oh my God.
So you're looking up at Galactus, you know? Like, it's fucking nuts, man.
And what I love too is because it's not the superhero perspective, you don't hear the superhero chatter. You don't know who's the good or bad guy per se.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just watching and following it around like, oh, they're over by the Statue of Liberty. Oh, they're over by the Empire State Building. Well, you know, oh, they went into the ocean or whatever. And you can't follow it because it's, you know, they're flying around and buildings are, you know, there's debris flying everywhere.
Yeah,
collateral damage.
I love how Phil was a freelance photographer, and he was, you know, working with the news guys, and you forget there weren't cell phones, so like they had to go to like pay phones and tell everybody like, hey, Submariner is fucking wreaking havoc over in, you know, fucking the Bronx or something, like, you know.
Right.
So it was just so great. I love the irony of like how Phil saw things clearly after losing an eye, you know. Like, I love that. Like his whole perspective changed after he saw that fight with Submariner and the Human Torch, and he ended up losing an eye in that fight between them two. But he got a whole new perspective after that fight on like superheroes, and it's such a good story, man. Very good.
Rob, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was good. The artwork was fantastic.
Rob always like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
Rob,
it's a comic. It's a comic.
Expanded thoughts.
Did you read it or did you just look at the pictures?
No, I read it. I read about Phil. I was like, what the hell? And then you figure out what's going on. I was like, now we got mutants? I was like, oh, I get it. Marvels. It's all of them.
Yeah.
Because the one chapter skips ahead, and then the other one's only like 2 or 3 months, and then the other one skips ahead again. But it was interesting to see his perspective. You know, basically he finally like, okay, I'm gonna live my life at the end. He's like, fuck
yeah.
He's
like,
I love the interaction with his family too. Like at one point, like he doesn't know, but his younger daughters are housing a young mutant girl, you know, and
a hideous one at that.
Yeah.
And well, here's the thing: he threw a brick at one of them, like they were
Iceman, I think.
Yeah, they were. There was like a riot in the street, and he actually picked up a brick and threw it.
Yeah.
And then shortly thereafter, his kids have been housing him, you know, a little
hiding
girl
her in
like,
the basement.
Yeah, for like 2 weeks,
getting chased and stuff. So all that allegory, you know, with race.
Right, but he's got his kids protecting, you know, the mutant, but outside he's got a mob ready to kill mutants, and they specifically say in one of the panels, like, these are my longtime friends, but they would burn my house down if they knew that I had a mutant in there. You know,
sounds like today's times.
Exactly, dude.
That's the other thing I like.
You're housing a gay person.
The one aspect, dude, I like,
that mob mentality is scary.
This is a 30-year-old comic, but you see the different news that, you know, the different media, news publications taking different points of view on the heroes. Some are painting them as villains, other are painting them as heroes, and it's all perspective based. You know,
that's all Murdoch did was just follow Jameson. They just took the playbook right out of there. Formed it into a TV instead of newspaper. That's all Fox News did.
I wanted to tell you guys that, like, after reading this, I was like, I don't like J. Jonah Jameson anymore. Like, I don't like that guy anymore.
Through a different lens, right?
Right. I was like, this guy's an asshole. Why did I like this guy?
You see him he's like in the first issue, a very young J. Jonah Jameson talking about he's going to run the Bugle one day and all this stuff. But yeah, it does, you know, usually he's the comic relief, but now it's like, it's Rupert Murdoch. This guy is out there lying to the public, painting a picture based on his own personal viewpoint as opposed to trying to be objective.
Right. Or just to sell papers.
Exactly.
That's it. Just to make money.
Painting a scare to sell papers, to make money.
And after reading this, I was like, I can't watch these Spider-Man movies the same way anymore. Like I don't like that guy anymore. He's done. He is dead to me.
He's a piece of shit. He is definitely J. Jonah Jameson he's a very funny piece of shit, but he's a piece of shit. Just selling papers. Yeah, you don't. It's funny because you always see, Spider-Man's perspective, and it's to him, he's just like whatever. And he's the one feeding him the photos. They had that whole scene in the comics too, where they're like, man, if that Peter Parker is a fucking scumbag, isn't he? Or whatever.
Right.
So he's making money off his own bad press, basically. It's so fucked up. But then when you just consider the Jameson perspective, it's like this dude is just making shit up because he wants to scare people, and that's what makes money. I wish there were no modern day parallels to that, but that's exactly where we are now. We got Ben fucking Shapiro burning Barbie dolls because he saw the Barbie movie, and I'm just like, this is where you're at in the world. I guarantee there is nothing that's in this Barbie movie that is going to upset me. And this dude is out there setting fire to Barbie dolls because he saw a movie about dolls, and he was so upset. And yet we're the snowflakes, right? We're the snowflakes.
He went to see a movie about dolls.
Yes. And now he's burning them in protest. Man. And I know he's just doing it because it sells, it gets hits, whatever.
I was going to say, does he just do this for money because he knows?
Absolutely.
But
still, the fact that there's an audience for that is what's fucking this country up. The fact that they're like, God damn it.
People eat that shit up.
Ruining the fabric of our country.
Ask Bud Light.
Right.
My buddy posted a meme. I guess everybody was writing like Mark's safe from being offended by a country song. I guess that was in the news recently. And
the Jason Aldean thing.
But it was like, but they forgot about Bud Light and Disney and everything else they've been protesting or something, This is like, snowflakes.
The Aldean thing. Thing was, I was just like, that's a country song. That's what the audience is. This is why you avoid country music. This is why you avoid country music fans. I've been preaching this for about 30, 35 years now. This is not new. They're all racist pieces of shit. What do you expect? It's called country music.
Hey, Steve, UPS is getting air-conditioned trucks. How about you?
I saw that article. I was like, damn, I had a chance to take a job with UPS, too. I was like, fuck.
Union, baby.
How's that non-union free-to-lay job looking?
Hey, man. So hot. That's how it looks. Looks very hot. I just got home, watched Secret Avengers. I haven't even showered yet, dude. My shirt is just soaked with sweat.
I forgot to tell Sean.
That's a white T-shirt you're wearing.
I've been following that, because the Actors Guild and everybody and the writers went on strike. But I was following, and I was listening to NPR on the way up to Ohio, and they were interviewing, because this is before they settled, but they interviewed the Teamsters rep for UPS, whatever Teamsters local unit it was. And dude, he sounded like a mafia guy. I swear to God. But he was just like, we want safety conditions improved. We want raises, and he was, dude, he laid it all out. And he's like, we worked hard during the pandemic. We've been working overtime. We want more full-time employees for our part-timers so that they can have benefits. Dude, he was just going on and on. And then 2 weeks later? But I mean, dude, he sounded like if like he was gonna shoot. I mean, he sounded like a mafia boss. I swear to God.
Well, he's gonna make his money.
He had that New Jersey accent. It was great. I was like, dude, that's why UPS is settled.
They don't want Tony Soprano coming up in
dude.
there.
I mean, he sounded like it was awesome. But man, I'll tell you what, good for them, man. They actually got it.
Well, I guess it's just temporary. It's not. I don't think they've come to full terms, but they've made revisions though.
Yeah,
and so
and
that was basically to keep them from going on.
Deal.
Oh, okay. I thought they had just thing I heard.
No, there's still. It hadn't been signed yet, but they've basically set the terms.
They've reached an agreement.
I don't think it's official. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
we get air conditioned trucks, or I break your fucking legs.
Right. That's who you want on your side, though.
Right?
You don't want the guy. You don't want the guy who breaks out the acoustic guitar at the party. You want the guy who slashes tires because he looked at your girl wrong. That's who you want representing you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's
Intimidation, baby.
I'm pretty sure the mob ran the union for a while.
Oh,
so.
I know. He was
Yeah.
he's like, there were record sales. He's like, the upper management has gotten rich, you know, or not, he didn't say rich, but they have been heavily compensated. He's like, now it's our turn, the workers, the ones. I was like, dude, this
Yeah.
guy's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I could have got a clip of that. It was like bullet points. It was awesome.
I was explaining to Logan because I saw a little clip. I got to watch it, but the problem with Jon Stewart, he's talking about the Fed raising the interest
again.
rates.
They're going to do it again.
And Logan was telling me that, the upside, like, well, interest has gone down, blah, blah, blah. I was like, but here's the thing. They keep raising the interest rate, but the people who need money are still going to borrow money. That when you need, you know what I mean? And that's, he's like, we're not, I forget the guy's name, but the asshole who keeps raising the fucking interest rates. But he's like, we're not going to head into a recession. It's like, but people who need money they're going to borrow that money at a high interest rate, and that's how when they can't pay it back.
Or anybody that's got debt. Anybody that's got debt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody's got debt. We just went through a goddamn pandemic.
Right. And so it's weird to me to be that confident that we're not heading into another depression, recession, whatever, when the people who need the money, they're like you were saying, they're the ones who are going to be affected. We're the ones who are going to be affected. And they just keep, it's like, there's got to be another way, but I haven't watched that whole thing of the problem with Jon Stewart. I'm sure he'll lay it out in a way that makes sense. And I also like that he kind of looks at things from different angles. It's not his whole perspective on that show, for those who don't know, is to figure out why and how, and why did the government bail out banks back in 2008 instead of homeowners? Why do people who why do the rescuers from 9/11 why aren't they compensated? Why aren't they receiving health care and stuff? He looks into this stuff, and it's not from a liberal perspective or whatever. It's more from just a human perspective of what the fuck.
He'll have three different people in their perspectives.
Yeah.
On, like his panel.
Yeah.
He'll have somebody from the far, someone in the middle, and then someone. They look at, like you said, he looks at it from all different angles to try and get the answer.
Yeah, and his perspective is basically our perspective, which is like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It's not about supporting a party. It's about figuring out, why does this problem still persist, and why are these the solutions when the solutions aren't working? Like,
we already know what
different?
We already know what the answer is, though. The people in power want it that way. that's it's not going to change.
I mean, that's the simple answer, but
not unless you get the mobsters out there.
But yeah, I'm loving all this union stuff. It makes me very happy.
I never said the guy was a mobster. It sounded like a mobster. All right, how about this? He had a New Jersey accent. We'll just leave it at that.
Tony Soprano. Back to Marvels, though. 4-star comic. It's 4 issues. They're all double-sized issues, though, so it's more like an 8-issue series.
Yeah, it was long.
Dude, Phil Sheldon was even there when Gwen Stacy broke her back. Like that.
Oh, dude, the Spider-Man story. That shifted his perspective again.
Yeah. He's like, superheroes they're not going to save everybody all the time.
Yeah, right.
He's like, at the end, he's like, I don't know what to believe, basically.
Right. But this is a 4-star story, 4-star artwork. Check it out. It's fantastic. I can't say enough nice things about it.
Yeah, it was very good. I was shocked, man. I right from the get-go too. I was hooked, man. I was hooked.
Yeah.
Very good. 4 stars for me.
Rob says good.
Rob says
3.
It's all right. That's all right.
3.5.
I was like, there were no titties.
The artwork is pretty amazing. You couldn't stop, but I think it took me longer because I was like, damn. I kept looking at the pages longer after reading,
Reading stories like this makes me not want a connected Marvel universe. Like, I would love to see them make this into a series or a movie and not have to worry about where it fits in the continuity of the MCU. I want to see those stories told with. I would love to see this told with a big budget and see that giant Galactus from a 6-foot tall man's point of view, looking up and like.
I just want them to make good stories. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Well, I do too,
how
but
they
if
do
I
it.
feel without the tether of trying to keep everything in continuity and this person alive and that person alive, I think we could get better stories like this. You know, this is not.
Well,
I
you
mean, I
can
guess
blame
technically this
Avengers
does
for
fit.
that.
Well, I mean, it was cool at first. I really liked, but I feel like with Endgame, you know, they could have rebooted from there and just been like, here's a Marvel movie, you know, like
Yeah.
here's
Right.
and just gone different directions, different directors, like truly do
Well,
something unique. And instead, they're doing the Star Wars thing where they're trying to keep everything connected, and it's just getting further and further away from them as they do it.
Yeah,
well,
and after this,
they were trying to make money on streaming. That played a big role in the shit that they decided to do.
But
too.
streaming would have been a perfect place, though, to do stories that aren't connected to the MCU. Like that's a good spot to put them.
They did it with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. They
Right.
still could have done
Right.
stuff like that.
But I want to know. But I want better story. I mean, I did like Jessica Jones, but I want, like I said, I want to see this stuff. And even at the time, though, those were considered canon. Like I think in one of the Daredevil episodes, you see a newspaper that references the New York Avengers battle and stuff. So
Yeah, but
even
that's
though they
fine,
weren't
but
directly connected, but that's what I mean, though. This story is, you know, and they've told stories from different time periods, but they've always brought the character then into the modern timeline.
That's true.
I just want to see, like I said, this would be fascinating. Imagine Christopher Nolan doing this, like a disaster movie style is basically what this comic is. You're seeing, you know, the ground's eye view, and you're just watching all this horrible shit happen. It would, I think it'd look really, really cool if done correctly.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, after this last Secret Invasion, I'm just like, I don't even need shows anymore. Just give me movies, dude.
Right.
Just like go back to the. I'll wait a year.
Give me the big budget shit, man. Give me the big budget shit. That's why I'm happy about the He-Man thing to some extent. Because I mean, there's still no guarantee I'll ever see a proper Masters of the Universe movie, but
they
at
made
least
one.
It's not,
come on.
I said a proper one. Proper Masters of the Universe movie.
I remember watching that movie and I was like, this is a lot of fun because it's really bad.
But yeah, I just want He-Man deserves that MCU type movie for sure.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody will pick that property up. Yeah, there's Battle Cat. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, dude, when I was watching that, like when I'm reading this Marvels and like I'm recognizing stories. Like I've read this Human Torch story and I find that so awesome, you know, because I didn't know dick about anything when we started this a couple years ago. Then I'm watching that that DC Superpowered documentary on HBO, and I see Carmine Infantino's name, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, that's when I first started reading comics. I started reading the Silver Age Flash, and he did like all of those, and I was like, that dude's still alive. I was like, cool, you know.
How depressing was that statistic in that Superpower where they said Aquaman is DC's highest grossing movie?
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember that.
I was just like, oh, that's so depressing.
And they showed like,
what is that on? What is that on?
HBO.
Max.
Oh
What's
yeah,
it called?
sorry, Max. Sorry, I forgot.
Superpowered.
Superpowered.
I sent you guys a text about it a couple weeks ago.
Oh shit! I don't know.
Yeah, I like the whole thing. Michael Uslan, I've known his name for a while. The fact that he bought the rights to the cinematic rights to Batman like in his 20s or something is insane.
Oh, I watched that.
Because they didn't recognize the value. No, if you haven't watched Superpower, this is different. This is a new thing.
What did I? Oh no, that was that documentary.
You watched Shadow of the Bat.
Yeah,
But he's been involved in pretty much every Batman movie since the '89 one.
No kidding.
Yeah, he was saying like nowadays, no way could you just buy the rights.
He still has the rights. That guy from '89 still has the rights.
Yeah, it's the cinematic rights. Yeah, I don't know what the contract is, but yeah, he's a producer on like every Batman movie.
Wow,
basically.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool.
Like that could have been you, like that,
right?
Like you could have bought the rights to Batman,
right? I mean, I was barely alive at that point, but
well, you know what I mean. I mean, you were in a different time. That could have been you,
right? What I loved, that's why I think when I see that, I'm like, man, I wonder if I could have bought the rights to He-Man. Been like $200, but no He-Man movie gets made without my say so,
right?
But when he talked about the '66 TV show and how he was so happy to watch a Batman show, and then he started watching it, and he was like, they turned Batman into a joke.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got to get the rights to this shit.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see shit like this again.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was basically, that was his whole motivation.
That's
It's a
exactly. That's what he
66
said.
TV
He
show.
said that was his motivation. He was like, God, that was horrible. I must buy the rights.
Yeah, super powered. Or DC documentary is on HBO Max. Check it out. I'm still going to call it HBO Max. Max is the dumbest name ever. That's like calling Disney Plus Plus. Just watch some Plus. It's on Plus, guys.
Dude, in my
Stupid.
Max feed, I get half the shit. I don't care about Discovery. I don't want to watch any of that fucking reality TV bullshit.
Oh, Maggie loves that shit. I've been watching that new Superman cartoon that's on there. I'm like 2 or 3
Oh, I
episodes.
saw that. Yeah.
It's decent.
I started the first episode of Batman the Animated Series.
Okay.
Good stuff.
So,
You used to watch that back in the day, right?
yeah, I started remembering it. It's just been a while.
Yeah.
You watching it with your kids or by yourself?
I just started like the first 10 minutes. I haven't got it. The kids went away, and I was like, I'm not watching it without them, so I just turned it off. But I put it on.
Nice. All right, so I have a selection for next week's movie. This one's a doozy. I've not seen it. I have not seen this movie. I've seen just little clips from it here and there, but I discovered it was on Amazon Prime, and I was like, oh shit. I discovered it a while ago, but I only recently was like, man, I only recently remembered to put it on my list so we could watch it. It's a movie. It's either from 1990 or 1991, and it's called Captain America. And
that's the low budget one.
it is a low budget.
I remember watching
movie.
that on TV. I think wasn't it on TV? Was it a TV?
You might be
movie?
thinking of the one from the 70s.
Oh,
There was
yeah,
a 70s Captain America.
Wait a minute.
Is it the same type of budget? Is it?
What's that? It's still low budget. It looks better than that 70s one. He doesn't have a motorcycle helmet on, at least.
Oh,
He's got an actual costume.
It's just called Captain America.
I remember
Captain
something
America,
from the
1991.
70s too. Was there a Spider-Man on TV or something? And
Yeah.
and it was like a rope web. It cracked me up. Yeah.
I used to watch that on I guess it was, I think it was like, I can't remember if it was TV movies or a TV series, but they had a couple TV movies. I remember watching them at my grandma's house.
I think it was
I
a
used to be
TV
so
movie.
excited.
Yeah.
I used to be so excited to watch it, and there's like 5 minutes of Spider-Man in the whole fucking thing. There's like no Spider-Man in the Spider-Man show.
Because they couldn't figure out how to do the web. They had to make this rope thing.
It's bad. It's bad.
That's what they were talking about in that documentary. Is like now they have the technology to bring these comics to life, you know?
Well, that's what I was thinking. What gives me hope again about Masters of the Universe is the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie came out, I believe, 40 years after the comic book. He-Man is a 40-year-old property. So maybe it's right. Maybe it's time to get that proper big budget movie out of it. Even though obviously He-Man is not nearly as popular as Spider-Man.
Well, you could do Battle Cat now.
Dude, you could do everything now. You can do it all. But that's why I don't want Netflix doing it. So, no, if they're not putting up the budget for it, it's not going to look good. If your director says 200 million, you say 150 million, that 50 million that's missing is like, you're going to notice when you watch it. You're like, this movie needs about $50 million worth of work on it. This would be like The Flash, where you're just like, did they just stop with they stopped polishing the fucking CGI? What happened here?
Yeah, and they did have a lot of action scenes in The Flash. And it's just like, yeah, well, it's CW. What are you gonna do?
Right. Well, yeah. Well, I'm talking about the movie The Flash, though.
So what are we watching? That's one of our choices. What's the other one?
No, that's
No,
it. That's the movie.
Oh,
there is no option A, B. We're watching
okay.
1991 Captain America on Amazon
Right after
Prime.
I watch that, I'm gonna have to watch the Chris Evans one to get that bad taste out of my mouth.
I'm excited.
Please tell me this is like an hour long, right? It's not. It's not 2 hours. Is it?
This is comic book history, baby.
Yeah, okay.
Marvel was selling shit off left and right.
All right.
Nicholas Hammond. I couldn't remember. Nicholas Hammond played Spider-Man in that TV show. It just came to me. I could not remember his name.
Wait a minute. Who plays Captain America? Anybody we know?
Nobody you know.
Name? I don't remember his name. No, and I'm guessing not. Don't remember.
Okay.
I could look it up, but
This is
let me
gonna
see.
be this is gonna be bad.
This is gonna be a fun one, guys.
It's gonna be well. You know what? The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie was fun to talk
Yeah,
about.
we're not gonna do worse than that.
Well,
Like, we're okay.
are-
1990 is when it came out.
are you going to
1990.
actually watch this all the way through?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right. The lead guy's name is Matt Salinger, but also Ronnie Cox and Ned Beatty are in it. So those are known actors. Ronnie Cox, of course, in RoboCop. Ned Beatty, known for being Ned Beatty.
Right. It's just Ned Beatty.
Matt Salinger plays Captain America Steve Rogers.
Yeah, I just said that.
Yeah. Where were you?
I was looking it up and
He pulled a Steve.
ignoring everything you guys were saying.
Hey, did you hear who's the dude that played Hellboy in the Guillermo del Toro ones?
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, did you hear him go off on
Yeah. threatening Bob Iger, basically.
Yeah. I guess one of those Netflix executives or something said, we'll just wait. I think Sean was talking to him a little about this last week, but he was basically saying we'll just let those writers, starve.
Starve them out.
You're like, well, we got so much money, and then Ron Perlman's like, I'll fucking burn your house down.
It's like a lot of different ways to lose your home.
Yeah, he said that without saying that, but basically
Right.
he said that.
A lot of different ways to lose your home.
I was like, oh, that's awesome.
So, but yeah, there is a 1970s Captain America that I've seen clips from, and that one looks really bad. Like I said, he literally wears a motorcycle helmet as his Captain America.
Yeah, I remember the motorcycle.
And then his shield is like, instead of having white stripes, it's clear, and it just looks like it just looks like plastic. It's just pure plastic. Really bad.
I can't wait.
This one I haven't seen anything from this one, so I honestly don't. I mean, I'm not expecting it to be good, but I
don't remember
know
this
what to
one.
expect. Yeah, I remember seeing it on the shelf in the 90s at the video store on VHS, and I was always like, what? Like, they made a Captain America movie, but I never rented it. I was just like, you could tell then, like, this is some Roger Corman level shit. I don't want to see it.
I'm with Rob. We're all gonna have to watch like First Avenger after this or something, because these fight scenes are gonna be so bad, dude.
They're gonna be amazing. What are you
I
talking
might
about?
have seen this, and that might be why I like Captain America so much, because they did such a great job. Finally,
the suit looks good for its era.
Yeah.
The suit and the shield look good. Again, especially compared to the 70s one. But again, I don't know anything about it. It's clearly low budget. And I don't know anyone who's seen it. It's gonna be a good time.
All right, we'll find out.
we're gonna do a shared watch.
We could do that.
Can you do it on Prime?
You want to pick a night and watch it over, because Amazon Prime does that, right? Like the
I
watch
don't know.
parties.
I know Disney does. I don't know.
No, I think they do watch parties. I'm pretty sure.
I'm down for that. That sounds like fun.
Well, let me know what night, man.
Yeah.
How do you look at each other or hear each other?
I think you just hear each other, don't you?
How do you hear each
I
other?
have no idea.
I don't have a mic
I don't-
hooked up to my TV.
You probably just have to bring your phone for that part. I don't really know.
I don't know.
I've never done it. So
I'll Google's it.
It Googles it.
Yeah, we'll do our own
we'll
little
figure it
mystery science
But-
theater.
The main thing is just pick a night, and we could watch it. We would do it like Friday night or something. It'd be fun as hell.
Yeah.
Do it Sunday morning when when my whole family's asleep.
Sunday mornings, right out.
Rob goes golf.
Oh, but yeah, I'm down for that. That'd be a good time.
This is gonna be so bad.
And then right after, we'll watch Captain America. First Avenger.
That's gonna be a good time. Good time.
Boy.
I'm starting
I'm
the Marvel movies with the kids.
Hey, it might be better than Secret Avenger or Secret Invasion, whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh, I
Right?
guarantee you, after this slop of an ending, I'm gonna like this movie better.
Dude, I can't believe we didn't talk about. So Rob comes up. All he wanted was Hamburger Station.
Oh my god, dude! Okay, so we went to Aiden and I drove to Pittsburgh.
You got the trifecta,
Monday.
right?
Oh my god! In one
Rob's
day,
not into the trifecta. There's one of
Oh
those he's
my
not into.
God.
yeah,
dude.
Swenson's. I can take or leave.
Blasphemy.
Well, I did have the
Right?
trifecta because I had Mr. Hero. That's my Swenson.
No,
no, that's not.
no, no.
You guys like Swenson. That's what my wife was like. How come you never told me about this place? Because I never fucking went there.
Well,
It
you
was
can go
Steve
now. It's still amazing.
Steven,
Still the best burger.
Steve and Sean. So anyway,
We're
I get
talking
there-
about food places. for the
Jesus
listener
Christ, let me finish my story.
in Ohio. They don't know what you're, nobody knows what you're talking about, Rob. I'm just trying to give some reference.
I'm setting it up, and you keep interrupting me.
Okay.
So we saw the Indians. All right, bye, listener.
No, go
They
ahead.
don't
No,
care.
I want to tell this story. This is fun.
I just telling the listener that he's talking about all our favorite food places in Ohio.
No,
That's all
I'm
I'm
not. I
talking.
haven't gotten there yet. They have no idea what I'm telling.
Okay, go ahead.
So Monday we went to the Pittsburgh and saw the Guardians play the Pirates. Drove there, so we got in. I went to bed at like 3:00 in the morning. Sean comes over. I don't know. It was early Tuesday, wasn't it?
It's like 11 or 12.
Yeah, 11. It was lunchtime. So I was like, okay, so we're gonna do Fiesta, I was like, I want Hamburger Station. So I gotta have Hamburger Station. I gotta have Fiesta. So I was like, we're gonna go to Hamburger Station for lunch. And Sean, that's what I texted you. And Sean's like, yeah. And then he gets there and he's like, Mason wants Fiesta. I was like, shit. Well, now I gotta get Fiesta because now I gotta eat it. So we ate Fiesta and Hamburger Station for lunch.
You're not.
I don't even remember. Did we eat dinner?
Probably.
Did we go to Mr. Hero that night? I thought we went to Mr. Hero the next day.
I feel like you're complaining.
Yeah.
Like, this sounds awesome.
Dude, I was so full. Oh my God. I ate way too much. So then the next day, I think we had Sean's like, I want Hamburger Station again. I think Logan wanted a Hamburger Station. So
I thought the next day we went to Luigi's. Or was that not the next day? Was that a different day?
maybe that was the next day. Yeah. Yeah, we went to Luigi's for lunch, and then we went to Mr. Hero and Hamburger Station for dinner.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yes.
You guys hit up. You guys
and then we
hit
had
up two
Fiesta
places?
again on Friday. I think it was like,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Fiesta one more
Dude,
time.
I was so, oh God, I ate
And
so
dude,
much.
what was funny about the Friday thing is Rob calls me or texts me. He's like, hey, we're going to be making steaks. How many people are coming over? I was like, oh, there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
So I knew full well we were having steak, but Mason was like, or no, it was Logan. Logan kind of missed out on the fresh Fiesta because he came later on that day. So he's like, well, I really want Fiesta. I'm like, all right, we're going to go. So, and that went from getting like one small Fiesta to once again getting 2 larges, one with double cheese, one with pepperoni. And lo and behold, and your mom, I could tell your mom was not happy, but I knew it wasn't going to be an issue. I knew nobody's dinner was going to get spoiled.
No.
And
In fact, we didn't have enough steak. I think we could have, the kids could have ate like 3 more steaks.
right. So we eat almost all the pizza. I didn't really have any Fiesta. I just ate cheese. Because they were leaving so much cheese behind when they were taking slices. I was just taking cheese out of the box. Just eating that. I didn't even have actual, like, a slice of pizza that day. But that pizza, I think, got wiped out eventually that night.
That's the first time we ate everything. Like, literally, there was no leftovers at all. Like, usually the next day, there's, like, a hamburger, some fries, a piece of pizza.
Both nights, though, both those nights,
Nothing.
we ate. Yeah, there was no leftover pizza, no leftover Hamburger Station, and we got Dairy Queen a couple nights. We did go to Swenson's, but we all just got milkshakes that night. It was great, and I was telling Logan because he's like this is not a sustainable way to live. Yeah. And I was like,
Dairy Queen.
He just said
Dairy
that
Queen a couple times.
He just said that.
Yeah.
How do you go to Swenson's and not get a galley boy? What the fuck, dude?
We did it. No, because we were full.
Well, we had just had.
I don't care. You take 2 to go.
They're not that good.
Oh my God,
they're amazing. I'll fire you. That's the most offensive thing you've ever said.
Dude, so check this out. So Sunday, I think Aiden and I, we had like the breakfast, and then we ate on the way back. I didn't eat dinner Sunday. I wasn't even hungry Monday. Like, I came home, I just skipped lunch. I worked all day Monday, and I was like, I think I'm still full. It's like I ate so much.
That's all we do. Every time we go to Ohio, we just.
But we like ate everything in one day, like 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't clean it up.
And yeah, we didn't like I think I got 4 full hamburger station sandwiches. I still had like a slice or 2 of pizza.
Dude, I am not. I'm not being hyperbolic when I say I gain 10 pounds every time I go to Ohio for a week. Like I'm not. This is not a joke, dude. Like that is what we do, dude. Wherever we go, this is what we do.
Yeah, Logan was when we were on a walk the other day, and Logan's like, "Man, like that's not a sustainable way to eat." I was like, "Yeah, it's called the Rocco exception." So when the Roccos are around, we gorge ourselves, but only for that time period, and then we go back to just having like 1 or 2 normal meals.
I think
a day.
Tuesday, all I had was like a Subway, and I got a veggie because I didn't want to. I was just like, I need to eat so I don't pass out in this heat. But
Rob was still getting the meat.
I don't want anything to eat. I'm not that hungry. I just need to eat. I was like, let me just get a veggie. I was like, it's good. I was like, I was full. I was like, oh, 6-inch
I
veggie.
love a veggie sub from Subway. I love their veggie subs.
Yeah, that's what I had. It's incredible.
Dude, I'm like that kid in Dick Tracy. When do we eat? When do we eat?
When do we eat?
When do we eat? Like,
but yeah, so Rob's like, and Rob was jonesing for hamburger station. I didn't want to like, because I knew if I was like, oh, well, Mason wants Fiesta, he'd like, oh, we'll just get Fiesta. I didn't want to like, I knew you were like, I didn't want to take that away from you. So I waited till we got there. I was like, oh, we're getting both. Because I wanted hamburger.
Did you hear me complain?
Right. I just didn't want you to be like, oh, I'll pass. I know what it's like to really look forward to something and then not get it. It's disappointing. So yeah, so we ended up doing both, and like Rob said, that everything was gone by the end of the night. Like I don't think we did have dinner. I think we just ate leftovers.
No, we went to Dairy Queen.
And we go to Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
For some ice cream.
Shout out to the Crunch Coat that no Dairy Queen in the South seems to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Crunch, the elusive Crunch Coat. Yeah.
Steve is over there drooling, but right now,
dude, I am. Well, Sean's such a dickhead, dude. Every time he'll fucking send me pictures of food that I love. He'll call me when he's in the drive-thru, exactly when he's ordering something that they don't have down here. It's just it's a dick move, but I laugh.
Chili cheese burritos.
Yeah, I laugh every time. But
Steve, like, it don't look like you're hurting.
Yeah, I don't need it. That's why I usually go on a diet before I go to Ohio, because I know I'm going to gain fucking 10 pounds when I go there. I do like a crash diet.
Steve's got the Rocky theme music playing, gearing up so he can gorge himself
right
in a week, basically.
And then you know what it ends up? It's like David Hasselhoff when he's drunk eating those cheeseburgers. That's me every time I go to Ohio.
Well, hey,
somebody had me a beer and this cheeseburger.
Hey, I clean the gutters so you don't have to clean them when you go home. Dad set me up on the roof at like 11 o'clock when it was like 95 degrees. I have like scorch marks on my hands.
You said that like I was gonna do any work anyway.
Like you would not have climbed the ladder. Your leg would have been.
Every time Rob goes home, he fixes something in the house. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna try and go up in a couple weeks after you come down for Comic-Con. So.
Word.
We'll get our gorge on.
Hell yes, and the Swenson's bird. We got to get Rob on that Swenson's, man.
Yeah,
Maggie's dying.
Yeah, all right. Let's wrap it up. Get her to the
all right, we'll be back next week with Captain America 1990. Thanks for listening.
Ciao.